Well, let's talk a little bit about homes, jobs, all of that. There's a program that we put on, and you're behind it 100%. And I know you have a good team that helps you with it. The Signature Series. So tell us a little bit about like what you got planned this year, and really what's coming up here this month.
Well, Brad, we've got three signature series planned for this year, one in February, one in May, one in August. And they're going to deal with the hot issues that are out there in community and on social media. One is certainly housing and what does that mean, and who can afford these houses. As we know, like Realtor.com just put out a story that Prescott is in the top 10 of luxury homes. And
Yes.
so,
Isn't that amazing?
while that's kind of good, values are going up, right?
It's not going to bring them down.
It's not going to bring them down. We still have a need for attainable housing, or housing that our workforce and service folks can afford to live in. And so the first signature series really is around growth and housing. We call it the missing middle. And it's really dedicated to talking about how do we solve this issue. There are people going to continue to move into the county, into Prescott Valley, and with values continuing to rise, which everybody likes that, right? Everybody wants more equity in their home.
If you own your home, you love rising prices.
Right. And if we can't get the people who wait for us, bartenders, teachers, techs, all kinds of folks that really make a quality of life in this area fabulous for us, then and we ask them to keep moving farther and farther away, then we're going to create a vacuum where we're going to see values reverse themselves, and we're going to see a dying community. And so I think the missing middle is really that workforce that we want to try to protect. And that's the first signature series. That's February 17th. And it's kind of a town hall. It's opened up like a town hall. It's going to start at 3:30. Event starts, doors open at 3 o'clock. It's at the center on Rosser Street in Prescott. We only ask that you RSVP. So you can go to signatures. You can go to www.communitysignatureseries.com. Go to that website. You can see some of the old topics that we talked about, but you can register there. Registration is free, doesn't cost you anything. We just want to know if we're going to have 200 people show up. We want to have 200 chairs out. Yep. We'll have right now, I think we've got over 140 that are RSVP'd. We've got a great panel of speakers. We've got Danny Corp with Elliot Pollock. And he's going to be bringing all his statistical analysis in. He's done, Elliot Pollock's, the firm has done a great study for the city of Prescott, the town of Prescott Valley. I think Yavapai County has commissioned them to do a study on Yavapai County. And that just gives you like, what is our growth rate? How are we growing? Mm-hmm. Who's moving here? What is our in-migration? What is our out-migration? It gives us just a lot of data to help us understand the context of growth in our area. We've got Dave Everson with Mandalay Homes, certainly a home builder. He's got a heart for building affordable homes and attainable homes. And he wrestles with it like everybody does every single day. How do we do that? We have Nicole Kennedy, who was the chair for the City of Prescott's Workforce Housing Committee. And they, I think, met for 2 years and finally delivered some policy procedures for the City of Prescott on how the city can be complementary towards developing housing for workforce. And of course, Dr. Anthony Torres with Dignity Health, and he's going to be there. And he's always hiring doctors, recruiting doctors in and techs in, and he deals with this issue day to day because there's lots of talented people that want to move here. It's just hard to find a home and one that is affordable for all the support. The doctors can afford a nicer home. Typically, they can
find one.
They can find one.
Right? They're not too many homes available in the market.
But around every doctor, there's a lot of support staff.
So, I always contend that the market is growing, and no matter what people do to slow down, manipulate, or stop growth, people keep moving here. Mm-hmm. They haven't stopped that, and so really, the question really becomes: there's two options in planning. You either master plan and design for it, which provides master plan communities, and you can address different segments like affordable housing, attainable housing, starter homes, big homes for doctors. Or the other plan you can do is to not plan, which is a plan in and of itself. And you allow the wildcat development where people just go out and they buy 2 acres, they put a dirt road to it, they drop a well, put a septic in, they build whatever they want. And there's no guidelines. They also don't pay impact fees. The city of Prescott just raised theirs, I think nearly 100%. I think Prescott Valley is close behind. And those fees are very important for the growth and health of a community because it helps the police, the library, it helps our roads and infrastructure.
Sure does.
So if our community is continuing to grow, Ron, and your topic is talking about housing, who should come to this event and learn about what we might be able to do about this problem, the missing middle?
Well, I think, listen, if you love where you live and you're concerned about your community and growth, you need to come to the event. I think what you're going to learn and hear is going to dispel some myths. We're going to provide some facts and information, and we're going to say we've got, like you said, there's 2 options here. There's planned area development, and then there's development that goes into the county. It's that the growth is coming. People are still going to continue to move here. I think Yavapai County is projected to have modest growth for the next 20, 25 years. And so how are we going to deal with it, right? What is the most effective way in dealing with this growth? Would
you say modest growth is 2 or 3%? What would you?
Well, I think we've been, come to the series because Danny Court's going to give us those 20-year statistics. Yeah. And I think we've been under 3% over the last 20 years. And I think modest growth is even lower than that.
So, I just look at if it's 2% and we have over 100,000 people in our region, I think it's depending on how you define the region, people define it differently. It's somewhere between 120 and 150,000. Well, that's 2,000 to 3,000 people a year that are moving here, no matter what. And we need homes for them. And if we're not building them, it creates the problem that we're facing. So once we learn about houses and the missing middle, what are we going to learn on the Signature Series this year?
You've already hit on it a little bit. In May, we're going to talk about the types of planning, whether it's high density or in the county. What are the better ways? What are the more effective ways to develop? And part of that is how do you deal with open space? Both are good plans, but they have different effects on open space. They have different effects on wildlife corridors. They have different effects on land preservation. So all those things are going to be in the second Signature Series in May. We hope to have Game and Fish there with us. We hope to have nature conservation with us.
So if you care about wildlife, you care about corridors and keeping the animals moving around, and you care about open space, and you want a place to live, this is a good place to come learn how they can both exist.
Right. Well, and everybody wants to influence the process. They live here. They have their home here. Values are going up. They want to protect that asset.
Yep.
So this is a way to come to this Signature Series. And what's beautiful about the Signature Series, Brad, it's not project driven. It's just how are we going to...
Just information.
It's just information. There's no project behind it. It's these issues are going to continue to happen. And a lot of the times, most of the dialogue that we're seeing today always happens at a planning and zoning meeting or a council meeting or a supervisor's meeting. It's always held in the public, but it's in some official capacity.
So will maybe another panel and a lot of opportunity for the public to ask questions and engage with the panel, or is it a presentation?
Nope, it'll be another panel, another panel discussion with area-specific specialists in wildlife, in land planning, and the benefits and the effectiveness of different options. We're going to grow. How do we grow, and what's the most effective way to do that? Audience participation is going to be really unique, Brad. We, as you know, have invested in a new software project package called Slido, and it allows everybody who walks in with one of these phones. Just about everybody has one. 99% of people in our community have a cell phone. You walk in, you scan your QR code, you're right into the live meeting. And you'll be able to ask questions through your phone. You'll be able to take polls through your phone. And so there won't be a live mic, but it'll be an opportunity for everybody to participate. And if you're not one who likes to public speak, but you're burning with a question, Slido's perfect software program.
It is a great tool. It's a great tool to to keep the room with a little bit of decorum and let everybody's voice be heard, even though it's typed out. Everybody gets a chance.
You know, you bring a good point, because we want this to be kind of an open town hall, open forum. And we know not everybody's going to agree. Everybody comes from a little bit of a different point of view. But it's important to have the dialogue and the conversation. And Slido will capture that. We'll be able to see it come up online. The moderator will be able to take a question and say, hey, let's wrestle with this question here. This is a good question. Let's either shut growth down, and what are the benefits to that, or what are the consequences to that? Or let's approve growth, and what are the benefits and consequences to that? It's just a way to have, I just don't think in our community we're having enough conversations about this. We're always having it in an official capacity.
It's always around a project, and people are naturally pitted against each other at that moment. So this is a much better way to have good dialogue and good conversation. So that's the first two. What is the third one for the year to wrap it up?
Well, Brad, you know, you cannot have a conversation about growth and development without talking about water.
Absolutely.
So water will be a dedicated topic all by itself in August. And, you know, how much water do we have? What is the Prescott AMA? How is it defined? How is water quantified in this region? Mm-hmm. It's so complex, and we want to try to take the complexity out of it, because there's just a lot of bright people working on this issue, not only for the Prescott AMA, but for the state of Arizona and the Southwest.
Absolutely. Arizona is one of the leading states in the United States on managing their water and putting a lot of effort into long-term development of management of water. And, you know, I've heard that the TSMC plant that came to Arizona and made a huge investment, they chose Arizona because of our water policy. They use a lot of water, but they appreciated our management system in Arizona around the water. So that's going to be great to hear a lot about how we manage our water and how we can use that management to plan for our future.
That's right. And I think that you bring up a good point, because we can, not only do we need to be efficient today with the use of our water, we need to be looking at long-term, downrange, as what does the next 50 years look like? What's the next 100, 200 years, and water supply look like? I think there are solutions out there, and they've already been written about.
Yep, I think there's lots of solutions, and I think we have to get away from the fear tactics. And I know water's not a perfect science, because nobody's like, what's down underneath that ground? But I think if we can put the fear tactics aside and the fear mongering and deal with the facts that we know, and I think we can move forward as a community and be proud of what we do and know that we're being responsible for, as you said, the generations that are yet to come.
Right. And it's controversial, right, Brad? Because you've got, again, this fits perfectly to be our final series conversation water, because there's two types of way we access water. All our water comes from where today?
Comes from the ground.
The ground. That's the only supply that we have up in this area. So either it's a municipal well that's pumping water to its residents, or it's your independent well, your exempt well at 35 gallons or less a minute that's pumping. And, you know, there happens to be friction between those two groups and parties. Yep. So it's going to be a great topic and a great conversation.
Well, it looks like you got a great year lined up for Signature Series. So one more time, how can they log on to make sure they have a seat when they show up?
Yeah, it's open to the public. It's free to the public. It's going to be February the 17th at the center, 1280 Rosser Street in Prescott on February the 17th. Doors open at 3 o'clock. You must register. If you register, that allows that we're going to make sure you have a seat for your butt. And that's all that's all the registration is for, is we just need to know how big the crowd is going to be. And I expect it's going to continue to grow. And that's going to be our first one. The next one will be in May. And once you register and you accept that you want to get future notices, we will communicate directly with you via text, the next two series. And so you'll get a direct messaging from
make the first one February 17th, and then you're guaranteed to be notified about the next two.
Yep.
Awesome. Yep. I love it. Thanks for the update. Really appreciate it. It's going to be an exciting year for Signature Series.
Yep. Come out and listen and educate and share your point of view.